Alright, we're back with another State of the Draft update. I'm Dave, your grumpy YouTube draft guy and video maker. I think this is going to be a bit of a long one. I've got 17 kids on my main ranked list, another 13 on my watch list, and then another 6 on my watch list. I should probably have tried to cut this down a bit more, but we'll see how quickly I can whip through it without compromising things too much. A few high-level thoughts on the pool before we kick off. As you can probably tell from the number of kids I'm discussing, we're in that part of the season where the depth of the pool starts to emerge through kids putting their hands up and demanding attention with their strong form or big individual performances. I like to split the top age junior season up into 3 blocks in my mind. The first block of games is the one that we're just coming to the end of. It includes everything from the season open through to the point about 4 to 6 weeks in that most of the really talented kids all disappear to play private school footy, and we lose sight of them until the champs kick off in a few weeks' time. Block 2 is the champs section, and then block 3 is the back end run through to the finals, where we often start to see kids playing some senior state league footy. Block 1 that we're just finishing up is where we start to really get a better sense for the depth of the draft pool. In my mind, I've shifted from feeling as though this was going to be a fairly shallow draft into feeling like it's got a decent amount of depth to it. Nothing like last year's pool, of course, but certainly more depth than we saw back in 2023. The top end I don't think is really packed with superstars, but there's a nice amount of elite talent up there, and they're a diverse set of player types which will give clubs with high draft picks an opportunity to fill their list needs. So let's go. I've included a watch list, perhaps a bit self-indulgent of me, but these are kids I think that have done enough early to deserve a quick mention. It's worth mentioning that the watch list and the watch list are not ordered in any way, so these kids could fall anywhere in ranking. First up, Aidan Schubert, 194cm key forward. He's powerful in the air, a bit of a dodgy kicking technique, but contested marking is probably the most important skill in the game, and he brings that for sure. Jevan Philippou, 181cm mid forward. He's a serious athlete who knows where the goals are. Could be a mover up the ranks once he gets back from his broken arm. Matt Leray, 190cm utility. He's got some nice traits for an outside mid or a winger. Needs to settle on a position and find continuity in his game. Harley Barker, 187cm wing. I don't expect him to be a super sexy pick, but he's a solid prospect, perfectly suited to playing wing and knows the position inside and out. Josh Reichelt, 180cm rebounding defender. A classy running and rebounding defender who knows how to find the footy and has a lovely right boot. Jacob Farrow, 189cm medium defender, another classy rebounding defender with lovely disposal in a draft that seems to be full of them. Alright, we whipped through that pretty quickly, so let's move to the actual watch list. I feel like any of these kids could easily move up into that upper echelon of the draft if they hit their stride through the Champs Series. Hunter Wright, 188cm mid forward. An emerging player that's leapt up at the beginning of this season, with plenty of scope to move up the rankings as the season progresses further. He's a big-bodied midfielder or medium-sized forward. He's strong overhead, damaging with a very nice left boot, sets up teammates and hits the scoreboard. Wes Wally, 181cm forward. Others will have him higher than this. He's got talent. He's super clean in the air and at ground level, almost always impacts the scoreboard. He's just had a bit of a soft start to the season, and his kicking has remained a bit of an issue for me. Tom Maguan, 178cm midfielder. He's probably a bit unlucky not to make the main list, honestly. I had him pretty high in pre-season and he hasn't done anything wrong so far. He continues to rack up the disposals and use his lovely left foot boot to advantage. I guess my only major question is, can he play inside mid at higher levels given his size? I'm keen to see what we get from him at the Champs and where Metro play him. Luke Hallett, 185cm mid forward. This one's a bit of a projection from me, as Hallett started the season injured and only just started playing footy again. It's the traits that I love. He's got a big and powerful frame for a midfielder and loves physical contact. Might rival Zeke Euland in a contest for who can roost the ball the furthest in the draft pool. Strong overhead and plays with some passion and even a touch of arrogance. I feel like Hallett could be a big mover when he hits his best form this year. Kobe Evans, 187cm mid forward. We saw some nice moments from Evans last year as a smallish forward, and this year he's moved into the midfield to good effect. He's another with a big and powerful frame and a strong athlete. Loves to attack contests and lay tackles, plays with a physical edge. Lots to like with the way he goes about it, but I need to see more composure with the ball if he's going to take a leap further up the rankings. Lockie Doverston, 177cm small forward. In a draft that doesn't have a huge number of small forwards, especially in the open pool, Lockie is in a good position to be taken quite early by a team needing that type. He's a strong crummer, has speed and agility to find space for snaps at goal, and can find the ball further up the ground to create opportunities for others. He's also improved this year in his forward 50 pressure, which is becoming a feature. Hussein El Akka, 170cm small forward. Probably the most dangerous small forward option in the pool, El Akka is tricky and clever, prolific at creating opportunities to score in forward 50, and with the vision and creativity to find his teammates in space. He has some athletic limitations, which make applying defensive pressure at a high level more of a challenge for him, and his kicking at goal has been a bit wayward to start the year. Adam Swade, 175cm midfielder. Swade has emerged rapidly to overtake his Essendon NGA-linked mate El Akka as the better of the two prospects in the eyes of many. He's an undersized midfielder with a strong and powerful frame, difficult to bring down or push off the footy. Plays with a physical edge, loves a tackle, finds plenty of the ball, and has solid enough disposal skills to use it constructively. It remains to be seen if his size and average athleticism prove limiting factors. Zach McCarthy, 198cm ruck. Zach McCarthy, another NGA-linked player to emerge early in the season, this time for the Pies. Zach is a tall and rangy kid with excellent movement for his size and nice skills. He's predominantly played as a ruck for Oakley, where his movement and skills allow him to impact the play around the ground. The question will be whether at 198cm he's too short to play that role full-time at AFL level, and whether he's able to develop as a key tall elsewhere on the ground. Bo Adensall, 182cm midfielder. Bo is elite at finding the footy, be it inside congested space or outside on the spread. He does a lot of the subtle linking play that can go unnoticed at times. A fantastic hard worker and gut runner who gets from contest to contest around the ground. He has some pace, but not an elite burst athlete, and I'd love to see him start damaging a bit more when he has the ball with time and space. Liam Heatherton, 197cm key forward. Liam had some hype coming into the year, but has been a little bit inconsistent so far. Had one big bag of 5 goals for Murray, which looked like it might be a launching pad, but he struggled mightily in the 2 academy games in a stupidly crowded forward line, although he's certainly not the only academy tall to struggle in that way. He's a strong mark and competes super hard, and doesn't mind a tackle. Could easily shoot up the ranks if he stars at the champs. Sam Cumming, 184cm mid. Another who I've moved down the ranks a bit since pre-season, not through anything he's done necessarily, but mostly due to others emerging. He's put together a solid start to the season at SANFL under-18s level, showing the benefits of his pre-season work. More powerful and dynamic at the contest than he was last season. He wasn't as influential for the academy as I'd have hoped, but his chance to shine at the champs is around the corner. Max King, 192cm utility. Others have Max a lot higher than this, and I can understand that, but I'm just playing it cautiously until I've had a chance to see more of him in action. He didn't play as much in televised or streamed games last year, and only just popped up for his first Talent League game for the Swans Academy last weekend, so I'm happy to remain a wait and see at this stage on Max. Alright, let's move on to the main ranked list, starting out with number 17, Dylan Patterson, 183cm defender. Patterson is an interesting, versatile talent. He's shown some nice athletic traits, a turn of pace and agility to weave through traffic along with elite to mark or spoil. He's pretty classy with the ball in hand and gets involved in damaging ball chains. He attacks contested situations with some desperation and looks like he could be a strong, small defender, although he can sometimes get a bit loose defensively and lose touch with his opponent. He turned in 2 strong performances for the academy and looks set to play an important role for a super strong Allies squad at the champs. Number 16, Cody Curtin, 200cm key forward. It's been difficult to keep Cody in this top group after he was nearly entirely anonymous through the 2 academy games. Clearly the least impactful player in that squad. The only mitigating factor is how unbalanced that squad was, with far too many key forwards selected, which resulted in them running into each other's space and spoiling each other in aerial contests. Cody's start at Colts level was strong, with a bag of 5 goals in the opening game, and he was again solid with 2 goals yesterday. He's another that's attracting questions over a lack of athleticism and concerns that he'll struggle to impact in the same way without such an overwhelming size and strength advantage that he enjoys at Colts level. Like others, his champs form will be critical. Number 15, Louis Emmett, 199cm key forward or ruck. Others have dropped Emmett off even more than I have. For me, Emmett is still the strongest contested mark in the draft pool, which is probably the most valuable skill in footy. and for that reason alone he deserves to be in the top 20 conversation. He hasn't started the season well, but the memory of his excellent performances in the second half of last season remain, and there's plenty of time left for him to find his form, and his stronger performance in the second Academy game was a good sign. A couple of strong games at Champs, and I'm sure he'll push his way back into the top 10. Number 14, Noah Hibbins-Hargrave, 186cm wing forward. There's not much to say here, unfortunately. Hibbins-Hargraves had a solid but unspectacular start in his first Talent League game of the season, not showing a great deal more than last year, and then went down injured very early in Game 2. So we're left in a bit of a holding pattern, waiting and hoping to see him burst into form on return from injury, which should be soon. Noah is an outside midfielder, winger or flanker, strong in the air, excellent disposal by foot, and with fantastic endurance to motor up and down a wing. Last season he showed a taste for the big moments, kicking big fourth quarter goals in a number of games. Number 13, Sam Swadling, 187cm midfielder. I had to hold myself back from putting Swadling even higher on this list, but it's still early in the season with plenty of left to play out. Sam's had a monster start to the year, recently racking up back-to-back 40 possession games in the Waffle Colts and averaging 34 per game over his first 5. The one thing that I wanted to see from Swadling this year was an improvement in his composure with the ball, and there's no doubt that we've seen that. He's a midfielder with good size for the position, the quick feet and agility to slip tackles, ability to extract the footy at stoppage, and elite footy IQ to find the ball around the ground. In the past, he's shown the aerial strength and X factor to impact as a forward, making him an intriguing and versatile prospect. As with all Colts prospects, I'm super keen to see if he can maintain his form when we move to the tougher competition of the Champs in a few weeks. Number 12, Archie Ludowicki, 197cm key forward. Ludowicki has been the best performed tall forward so far in the pool. He led the Academy goal kicking through their 2 games and booted a bag of 5 goals in round 2 of the Talent League. My pre-season concern was over the cleanness of his hands in marking contests, and while some of that still remains, he's definitely improved there from last year. And his movement around the forward line and willingness to leap at packs is excellent. With a late December birthday, there's plenty of scope for improvement from Archie, and he'll have plenty of admirers among the clubs looking for a pure key forward among a draft group with more ruck forward hybrid types in the first round contention. Number 11, Rory Wright, 183cm midfielder or wing. Rory's burst onto the scene to put himself into the top 10 conversation through his opening block of games. The thing that immediately stands out is his lovely, laser-like left foot kicking skills. A regular sight in the early weeks of this season has been Rory Wright spearing a searing left foot dart onto the chest of a leading forward. Rory's agile and light on his feet, which makes him able to use his elite kicking skills in congested space. He's not the biggest physically, and his stoppage game is definitely a work in progress, but there's plenty there to like. Number 10, Sam Grill, 182cm midfielder. Sam Grill has been one of the big improvers through this first block of games. More time and responsibility in the Chargers midfield has seen Grill blossom, and his elite traits come to the fore. He just might be the most outstanding athlete in this draft pool, with wicked pace and elite agility, able to dodge and weave around tacklers with his dancing feet. He's also shown some solid stoppage craft, able to get first hands on the ball and then use those elite traits to get from inside to outside for a damaging disposal. His kicking skills aren't quite as polished as some others in this top group, but that could end up being only a minor complaint. If he's able to maintain his hot start and put a strong Champs campaign together, then he has the scope to rise even higher up the ranks. Number 9, Josh Lindsay, 183cm rebounding defender. As anticipated, Josh Lindsay started the season with a move into the midfield for the Falcons in their first couple of games. While this move wasn't a disaster by any means, we did see that Lindsay has a long way to go in developing his craft before he's able to really impact in that role. His elite attributes are his lethal disposal by foot and his attacking and brave decision-making with the ball. As a midfielder, those elite traits were greatly muted as he lacked the ability to find space for a clean disposal. He's since moved back to the half-back line, and once again we're seeing Lindsay slicing up the opposition, culminating in his recent best-on-ground performance in the second Academy game. Even though he's likely to start his career as a back flanker, Lindsay's traits seem almost perfectly suited to the modern AFL game, where ball movement has never been more important. Number 8, Fred Rodriguez, 184cm midfielder. I've dropped Fred back a bit from my pre-season ranking, and others have dropped him back even further than this. He's had a difficult start to the new season, and particularly struggled to have any impact in the second Academy game. Questions about his lack of athleticism are growing stronger with greater scrutiny, an issue that may limit his suitability as a pure midfielder at AFL level. However, I still remember some of the excellent performances that Fred put together last year at the Champs and the Futures game. and his disposal remains an elite weapon that should allow him to star in a more outside role on a wing or a flank, even if inside mid is not his go ultimately at AFL level. Hopefully Fred will be able to step up through the upcoming Champs Series and remind everybody of his quality. Number 7, Toby Wan, 184cm midfielder. This is a little bit of a riskier call, but for me Wan looks to have taken a massive leap forward in this first block of games. His booming left boot has lost none of its potency, and to that he's added a powerful inside game with more developed and muscular frame that he uses to fantastic effect at stoppage. Wan's been effective when deployed forward, able to impact in the air and hit the scoreboard. There seems to be very little that Wan can't do at this stage. The risk comes from the fact that he's only played Waffle Colt so far this season, so we'll have to wait and see whether his improved game can translate against higher level competition. Number 6, Zeke Uland, 180cm rebounding defender. I had Uland around the middle of the top 10 in pre-season, and given that we haven't seen him yet this year, I don't really have any reason to shift him from this spot. Uland has a cannon of a left boot that he uses to damage in space, capable of slicing open zone defences or bombing long goals from outside 50. He played a lot as a rebounding defender in his bottom age season, but has also played wing and on ball at times. Number 5, Dan Annable, 184cm midfielder. Annable had a strong run in the 2 academy games, which only bolstered what was already a burgeoning reputation. He's a fantastically well-rounded midfielder with few flaws, more inside leaning with power at the contest, but works hard outside and can be damaging with his uncontested game. He's often named the captain of his various teams and is a vocal leader out on the field. Perhaps just lacking the real dynamism of an absolutely elite talent, but the Lions will be ecstatic to be getting their hands on him at the end of the year. Number 4, Dyson Sharp, 188cm midfielder. Sharp is the type of footballer that will always have his supporters and detractors. Some will look at him and appreciate the things that he does better than anyone else in this pool, such as his elite inside game and the subtle work he does around the contest to elevate his midfield group. And others will instead focus on the things he doesn't do as well, such as his finishing skills on the outside of the contest. Sharp had a slower start to the season, playing a more peripheral role at senior sample level, but his recent return to the junior ranks for Centrals and then his performance in the second academy game have reminded everybody that he remains one of the premier talents in this draft pool. Number 3, Willem Dersma, 191cm midfielder and utility. Thrillum started the season with a bang in Game 1, posting one of the gaudiest stat lines we've seen in this first block of games. Things have been quieter since then, although I think due consideration needs to be given to him playing out of position as a key defender for the academy to help cover that squad's awful team balance. Dersma has some elite traits to work with. Long and rangy with excellent athleticism, he eats up the ground on the run and is capable of taking a strong grab. As a midfielder, he's shown that he can have a similar type of whole ground impact to the Bont, although he hasn't shown that consistently yet. If he does find that sort of form, he could easily end up challenging for pick 1. Number 2, Oliver Greaves, 191cm midfielder. I think Ollie Greaves is being slept on by draft watchers. He's been the most consistent performer in this first block of games, winning the ball inside and outside the contest no matter the level. His combination of size, strength and agility is unrivaled in this pool and resembles a player like a Noah Anderson. His ability to maintain that level of contested ball winning even with the step up to playing against VFL opposition was impressive. He has the power to get from inside to outside into dangerous space for a clean disposal. His kicking has been a question, but now that the windy weather around Melbourne that's affected the early weeks of the season has backed off, Ollie seems to be lacing out his targets more consistently and his kicking mechanics seem strong. The only thing that I'd love to see him add to his game is a greater application to defensive actions. He typically floats around the contest looking for an opportunity to win the ball and leaves the tackling to others. And finally, number 1, and I imagine everybody knows what's coming. Cooper Duff-Tytler, 200cm ruckman. I've gradually become more comfortable with seeing Cooper Duff-Tytler as the number 1 pick in this draft with his performances in the academy games. He's always been an elite talent with his size, his movement athleticism and high skill level. But the concerns for me have been around whether a team would be prepared to commit the number 1 pick to a kid that's ostensibly an undersized ruckman. We haven't had a ruck go at pick 1 since Cruiser 18 years ago, but Cooper Duff-Tytler played a lot as a forward for the academy, and it was a significant step forward for me. He positioned himself well to be used as a long target, he hit up at the ball carrier a couple of times, and he took a couple of really nice contested grabs, even kicked a goal. All positive signs that he might have a real future down there. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. Hopefully that didn't drag on too long. And I hope this has helped everyone get a better picture of where we're at with the pool at the beginning of May. As always, the Champs is the big moving period for prospects, so rankings right now aren't super important. There's still heaps to play out. I might get another one of these videos in before the Champs kick off, but we'll see how we go with my busy schedule. I'll see you all next time. Bye.
Excellent work there by Kobe Evans. Turn quickly. See, it's even numbers inside 50. And